Hello students, this would be the next class of your finance and accounting class subject. What I have done till now is I have completed the first unit. My last class was about the bank reconciliation statement. Just go through all the problems what I have explained in my first unit and tell me if at all you have any doubts regarding any of the topics. Call me or message me, WhatsApp me, whatever it is. You just if it is not clear to any point at like you can clear your doubts, go through the videos again and again so that you will understand it better. And today I'm going to start the second unit, that is the final accounts. Now final accounts is nothing but this is for every business the main motto will be to get the profit, isn't it? So for any shareholder, you all are familiar with the stock market, I guess. Shareholders, you all are familiar. Share market, shares. This share is nothing but it's a unit of money as such. Okay, particular number of shares will be there for this much of rupees or something like that. It will be there. Now, how shareholders or the company is be like they'll be in a position to judge that the company is getting the benefit or not, or they are into losses or something like that. How they'll be knowing, the businessman or the shareholders, the owners, they should be they should know the results of the company assets, whether they are into profits or losses or something like that. So what the financial position of the business is, that is what they should be known. So it like the businessman will be like he'll be willing to know whether the company is into business, profitable business, or what is the position into, whether the it's going into the according to the planned manner or according to the objective of the shareholders and all. To get the main objective of any business will be to get the maximum value to the shareholders as such. So that is what here also, to get the profitability of the business, the businessman will be so for every business they should know from timely manner that whether they are into profits or not. For that reason, to know the profitability of the business or the soundness of the business, final accounts are prepared. The trader or the businessman, they can ascertain this by preparing the final account. That is the reason these final accounts are prepared. They are prepared from the trial balance. I have done in my previous classes about the trial balance also, right? So basically it provides the link between the ledger accounts and the final account. So the basically the final accounts are into two stages. First stage is trading and profit and loss account, and the second stage is preparation of the balance sheets. Why final accounts are prepared? In one sentence, to know the profitability of the business. At the end, you will be knowing the companies are into profitable stage or losses by preparing the final accounts only. So this in this class we are going to talk about the final accounts only. So uh, next slide. Under that, as I said, they are divided into three. First stage is trading and profit and loss account, and the second stage is preparation of the balance sheet. Trading account or and the profit and loss account. The first step in preparation of final accounts is preparation of trading account. The main purpose of preparing the trading account is to ascertain gross profit or loss as a result of buying and selling the goods. This is done mainly in the manufacturing stage, guys. Manufacturing, a plant will be there, or a manufacturing firm will be there where all the production takes place. Now trading will be done at that stage only, when the raw materials are bought into the business and they have been converted them into finished goods. The process that has been taken place, whatever it could be, wages to the laborers or coal, gas, water, oil, whatever it has been used, those all will be taken into consideration. And at the end, after finished goods have been ready for sold, that will be basically this is known, the profit that will be known at the manufacturing point will be known through trading account only. So the profit that is there at this point of time is known as gross profit or gross loss. Okay, so these are incurred as a result of trading activities of a business. In other words, it is prepared to show the result of manufacturing, buying, and selling of goods. So if the amount of sales exceeds the amount of purchases and the expenses directly connected with such purchases, the difference is termed as gross profit. On the contrary, if the purchases and direct expenses exceed the sales, the difference is known as gross loss. Here, that means now sales are nothing but you will get an income out of that. So expenses, your income should be more than your expenses what you have incurred on your purchases and all. So if it is more, you will get a profit. If it is less, your income is less than your expenses, you end up getting the gross loss asset. So trading account is records the amount of purchases of goods and also the expenses which are incurred in bringing the commodity at a saleable stage. So I am going to show you in the bigger pointers. This is a performer. This is the structure of trading account. This is how you are going to like how I have given in my last class. BRS was the format, so here also it's a format. These all points only will be there in the trading account. The heading will be trading account of Mr. So and so name for the year ended. If at all has been given, you need to take that. So here this all is nothing but the debit items. These all are the credit items. Okay, now sales, if at all are there, you need to take on the credit side. It's nothing but if you make an income out of the sales, you will get write it over here. If at all any sales return are there, you're going to deduct it from the sales. This is very important. Sales return, if it has been given, you need to deduct it from the sales as such. And closing stock, and this is why this is being taken. At the end of the year, you should know what is the stock like left over after getting the raw materials, after converting them by using this all the expenses, purchases, purchase return, carriage inwards are nothing but the expenses that so like at the manufacturing point you require carriage is nothing but the transportation what you do at the manufacturing point, that is known as carriage inward, whereas wages we will pay to the laborers. Freight is also you pay the transportation and all, and custom duty and octroi, well ships and all you use this all for transportation of importing or exporting the raw materials. At that moment you use this custom duty and octroi. Gas, fuel and coal and water, these all are required. And factory expenses, if at all any are there, that any other man expenses, productive expenses and all, those all if at all is being given in a question, you need to take over here in the trading account. And after adding the credit side items, after adding the debit side items, it will be the income. Okay, this would be the incomes. Here these all will be the expenses. Now income minus expenses, if this is more than this side, that means you will get a gross profit. This is nothing but the balancing figure. If income is more than your expenditure, you will get a profit as such. So that is nothing but your gross profit. Now you have to take all the incomes on the credit side. Closing stock is nothing but the leftover stock at the end of the year after manufacturing and all. If something is left over, you're going to use it in the next year, isn't it? So that is the reason you write it on the credit side, because it's an income for you. So you're going to write it on the credit side and you deduct all the expenses whatever it is related to the manufacturing point, and the remaining, the balancing figure is nothing but the gross profit. Credit minus debit, if you add all of them, if at all has been given in the question, you're going to take it over here. Okay, I hope I made it clear. This is just to make you understand the performer of trading account. Now and also the businessman is always interested in knowing his net income or net profit. Net profit represents the excess of gross profit plus the other revenue incomes over administrative sales. Now after manufacturing, what would be the next process? To hand over it to the sales department. Administrative expenses would be there, financial, any other expenses like interest loan taken or given to anybody or something like that, or sundry debtors will be the debtors, nothing but the suppliers to whom you have supplied the raw materials and all, they need to give it back the amount to you. So sometimes what happen, in a year you are not going to receive it, so it may take more than 1 year also if huge amount is there. So all those you are going to prepare another account called profit and loss account to know the office income, office profit. That is nothing but manufacturing. This is related to manufacturing. Okay, trading account is completely wholly solely related to manufacturing point of view. What is the profit the company got after converting the raw materials into finished goods, after selling? What is the leftover with the company? Whether the got the whether expenses are more or incomes are more. If incomes are more, then it will be definitely a profit. If expenses are more, it will be a gross loss. When it is a gross loss, profit means gross profit, loss means you're going to take it on the credit side by naming it as gross loss as such. So the next step is to know the company whether it got a profit or loss at the office level. That is nothing but after manufacturing, it will be forwarded to the main office. What they do, they'll be knowing over here is how much the company is getting the revenues from the sales. And you need to look after the administrative department also. You need to pay salaries to them. You pay the salaries, not wages. Wages will be paid at the manufacturing point. And financial or any other expenses are there, you're going to take it on the profit and loss account. This is the next account that need to be prepared. And debit side show the profit and loss. Debit side show the expenses and credit side show the income. If total of credit side is more, if your incomes are more, then it will be a net, definitely like how gross profit, net profit only. If debit side is more, it will be a net loss. So this is the perform of profit and loss account of Mr. for the year ended. This is how you are going to write down. You can check out over here. Now here what profit will get on the debit side, that is nothing but income minus expenses. What you get the profit, that will be brought down like how we do in the ledger account, brought down. The same manner from the trading account you transfer it to the profit and loss account as by gross profit brought down. And you're going to take the others also. By interest received, you need to write down by, it's missing over here. So by interest received at all, if at all any interest you have received on the loan that you have given, if you have received any discount, any like this is sort of a nominal account here. Similar, what's the rule of nominal account? Debit all the expenses and losses, credit all the incomes and gains, isn't it? Here also debit all the expenses and losses. All the expenses and losses whatever you got, you're going to take it on the debit side of profit and loss account, and all the incomes and gains you're going to take it on the credit side of profit and loss account. You can check out over here. To office salary, salaries if you pay, you are going to take it on the debit side. To rent, rate and taxes in the office if you pay. Printing and stationery, this is nothing but the stationery item if at all is there. Legal fees, legal charges if at all any are there. Audit fees, insurance, general expenses, advertisement you do on the product. Bad debts are nothing but irrecoverable debts. Suppose I have given to a person some amount and he died, so that means there is no source of coming back that money to me, isn't it? So you may say that relatives and all, he is only the responsible one. He though nobody will be giving, isn't it? If at all he, that's another secondary part. But the thing is, if that is not coming, the debt which I have given a loan to somebody, or I have supplied a raw material to somebody and it is not coming back, so it is irrecoverable, we cannot recover it. So that will also is a loss to the company, isn't it? That also you're going to take. And carriage outward, carriage outward is nothing but, if it's a carriage inward, it is a trading expenditure. If it is a carriage outward, it is a profit and loss expenditure. Okay, remember this is an profit expenditure. Repairs if at all any there for the car or something, machinery, something like that. Depreciation is nothing but decrease in the value of asset. You you charge it to the account, asset account. If it is a decrease in the value of assets and expenditure for you, so what you do is you deduct this amount and write it. Okay. To interest paid, if at all no, let me explain you depreciation better. Suppose you have purchased, you all will have bikes and all, right? Suppose you have purchased the bike some 2 years back for 1 lakh rupees. Do you think same 1 lakh rupees will be there, the bike value? No, it will come to some 50,000 rupees something, isn't it? So what is happening, your value is decreasing, your bike value is decreasing, so that value is nothing but the depreciation, isn't it? That value has gone. So you you make necessary adjustments and all. For that reason depreciation is prepared. Okay, to interest paid, if at all you have taken a loan and all, you pay the interest. It's an expenditure for you. Interest on capital means you have taken a your on your company, you paid capital interest on your capital. Like if you are investing in this shares market and all, share capital will be there, you need to pay interest on that also. So that sort of interest if you pay. Interest on loan, if you have taken a loan from someone, you need to pay interest on that also. So that is the reason, if at all is they been given in the question, you need to take over here. So discount paid, you are paying to discount to somebody, you are going to take it over here. To commission paid also. Now if my incomes, these all are the incomes, right? By gross profit, let me explain you the credit side also, that been brought down from the trading account also, isn't it? So by gross profit brought down, by interest received, if at all any interest is being I have given a loan to somebody, if I am receiving interest on that, so that will be it's a benefit for me, so I'm going to take it on the credit side. Commission, if at all is there. Interest on investments are there, if my investments. Dividend on share, dividend is nothing but an income which you earn on the shares. Like how if I invest some money in the stock market, I should get the profit, isn't it? So that profit will not be called as profit, but it is named as dividend. So it's an income for me, so I'm going to take it on the credit side. Miscellaneous expenses, these are nothing but the petty expenses which you incur, that also you need to take on the credit. Investment, sorry, which I'll be earning petty incomes, that also I'm going to take it on the credit side. If at all any rent has been received also, here only you're going to take it on the credit side of P&L account. Now if my incomes are more than my expenses, right, what it will be a profit for me, isn't it? So if this credit side is, if it is more than debit side, you're going to name it as net profit. If you total it up, this, if suppose it is 10,000, if you total it up, suppose this is 7,000, 10,000 minus 7,000, it is a profit to you. 3,000 is nothing but net profit. Okay, so this is how you are going to prepare the profit and loss account, and it will be transferred to another bigger account called as capital account. That will be known actually. Now here, this is where, this is the second step, that is the to find out the net, whether the company got a net profit or loss as such. So now the next step is to three things will be there actually. Trading account is the first one, next is profit and loss account, then the final one is actually, that's very important one, is balance sheet. So balance sheet is prepared. Why here it has been written second point? Because oftenly trading and profit and loss is prepared together, but that accounts will be prepared separately. I'm going to show you how you're going to prepare. That accounts will be prepared, so you can prepare it separately also, you can combine it also. So that is the reason it is written second point. Basically balance sheet is prepared as separately, and trading and profit and loss account is prepared as one. So that is the reason it has been written as second point. It is prepared to know whether the company got a profit or loss, and it is prepared to find out the trading and profit and loss account has been compiled and closed. So basically here it will be known, balance sheet is prepared to know a statement, what is the financial position of the company at a given date. So what is important in balance sheet is, I have to make it very precise, here definition is been given. The balance sheet is an item wise list of assets, liabilities and proprietorship of a business at a certain date. So basically it is prepared to know what the company possesses, right? In profit and loss, what will be knowing, this much profits we got, this much losses we got, that's it. You will be knowing through balance sheet what is the goodwill of the company, what is the reputation of the company in the market. Okay, so through these things, list will be there, like assets, liabilities. Assets are nothing but what the company possesses, what the company owns. Like for a company, Land and building is an asset, a car is an asset, a machinery is an asset, isn't it? So these all will be compiling, and plant and machinery, these all will come under one. You are going to name it as assets. Assets, what company possess, what company has in their hands, those all will be known as assets. Whereas liabilities are nothing but you are liable to provide service, or you are liable to pay money to them. Let's suppose I have taken loan from the outside party, so I need to pay it back. So that's nothing but a liability to me. Capital is a liability because suppose I have invested some 5 lakh rupees in a business. As long as I don't receive that 5 lakhs, I am uh, like I am due to business. It's my business only. It's not like that. That 5 lakh rupees, until and unless I don't receive in my hands, it is due to me, isn't it? I am due to the business as such. And if I receive that 5 lakh, it's fine. If I don't, it's in, I am liable to I am liable to pay the amount as such. So that is what these all the things will be consist in a balance sheet assets. If you check it out, this is an performer of balance sheet. Balance sheet of Mr. Some name will be there as on, if at all. See, remember, for a trading and profit and loss account, it's written for the year ended, whereas in the balance sheet you're going to write as on. So now these are like here, liabilities and capital amount, assets amount. The very first thing, this we are not going to write down over here particular amount, because this is a very important part. Now, as I said in the previous, here profit is been transferred to capital account, it's been written, right? Transferred to capital account means this is what is that capital. In the question, if he gives you capital, you are going to add the profit what it is coming from the profit and loss account. So over here, these are the left hand side is nothing but your liabilities and capital. Your right hand side will be assets. So now creditors. Let us discuss about the liabilities. Do listen very carefully because it's very important, and this is a new subject to you. So it's better you listen with concentration. Creditors. Creditors are nothing but these are the suppliers to you. Suppliers of raw material or supply, mostly raw material. So you are liable to pay them back. So you are not going to, several people will be there who are going to supply raw material, only 1 or 2% will not be there. Suppose you are into manufacturing of some oil or something like that, you need several things for that. So for that, one supplier will not be there, different suppliers will be there, so you cannot name them as the person personally. So what you're going to do, you are going to add them all and dump in one account called as creditors. Okay, the same manner, opposite of creditors are debtors. You can check out over here. I am simultaneously going to explain both the things simultaneously. Liabilities are nothing but you are liable to pay or provide the service. Assets are nothing but what company has in their hands as such. So debtors are nothing but your opposite. Like creditors are the suppliers, debtors are you are the suppliers. They are due to pay amount to you. You will be receiving the amount in some future date, 6 months, it could be 1 year, it could be whatever it could be, but you will be receiving that amount, right? So it is a benefit to you, isn't it? So if it's a benefit, it's an asset to you. Because why it's an asset? Because it's not about one year, basically not about 1 month or 6 months like that. It may take 1 year also, 1.5 year also to get back your amount as well. That's the reason it's an asset. Okay, I hope I made it clear to all of you the difference between the creditors and debtors. The next one is bill payable. Bill payable is nothing but basically a promissory note. It is a promissory note which will be like given to a person, like that I have to give to amount, some like creditors only I have to give payment to them, right? So I am going to give them promissory note that on that particular day I am going to pay back to you. So that is also a kind of a liability only from my side. So that is also a bills payable it is. So at the same manner, bills receivable is an opposite. promissory note which I'll be receiving from the other parties. Bank overdraft is nothing but a short-term loan which you take from the banks. Loans, mortgages is nothing but loan which you take on a land and property. Reserve fund, reserve fund is nothing but you keep aside certain amount so that you're going to use it in the future. And after that, capital, if at all any profit we have received, right, you're going to add. If at all is a loss, you're going to minus it. Remember this. Profit means adding, loss means subtracting. Now drawings, always you deduct it, always you subtract it, because it's an expenditure. You have made the expenditure, you need not to pay any more as such. The other is asset. Cash in hand, if you have cash in hand, you're going to take it over here. Cash at bank, you're going to take it over here. It's nothing but what you have in your hand, isn't it? Bills payable, receivable, closing stock. Stock is nothing but, if at all, remaining amount it is. I am carrying last year to now, I am carrying that stock. Some stock is left over. It's an asset to you. See, if it is carried from the last year to current year, it's not, stock is nothing but raw materials which you have in the store departments and all, storage and all. It's nothing but an asset for you. So investments, if at all I have made an investment, some property or some fixed deposits and all, it's an asset for me. Furniture and fitting, it's an asset. Plant and machinery, it's an asset. Land and building, it's an asset. Patents, copyrights, goodwills, I have explained you about this in my earlier classes about tangible and intangible assets. Tangible means which you can touch and feel, right, like land and building, furniture, investments and all. Whereas intangible means you cannot touch but you can feel them, like copyrights. Copyrights are nothing but, suppose I have, it's rights to me. If I have invented some product, so I will have rights on that product. If at all anybody are copying also, they will be giving me some, they cannot copy. If they can copying also, they have to ensure that they write my name as such, that they have copied from my side as such. So this is one thing. And you check, you know, I guess copyrights, it will be there on the number of products, music, movies and all, right? So those are nothing but the copyrights. These are nothing but what happens, you know, how the benefit we are getting means, suppose I have written a book, so I am going to get the amount of that. If I have written a book, the publisher will pay me certain amount every year as long as that book they are using them. So it is my right. So for as such they are using my book, so they have to give me certain prescribed amount as such. So it's a benefit for me which I will be using, isn't it? So it's a benefit for me. Goodwill, it's a reputation of the company. For reputation also you will have amount as such. Okay. Prepaid expenses, outstanding expenses, those also are there. Prepaid expenses are nothing but which you pay in advance. Suppose I have paid, suppose this is a November, suppose I have paid the rent for 6 months in advance, so I need not to pay in the next 4 months also, in the next year also. That's nothing but it's a benefit from me. So it's an prepaid expenses as well. Outstanding income, suppose I have received the income received in accrued income earned but not received. Suppose a commission I have earned but I have not received it yet, so that all will come under assets and liabilities assets. I hope I made it clear to all of you. These all the three performance. This is a compulsory question for 12 marks. And from second unit, this is only the three things are there: trading account, profit and loss account and balance sheet. And every time this is a compulsory question, so do listen this this is very important. So trading account, profit and loss account and a balance sheet. So let me explain you one more thing also. Copy it in a paper, all the things. It's very important. As I said, it's for 12 marks as such. So do copy it and keep it with you in a long notes. I have to explain you this one also. Difference between capital and revenue expenditure, they may ask for 2 marks also, they may ask for 12 marks also. So do listen it. So the main difference between capital and revenue expenditure. First let me explain you what is capital expenditure, what is revenue expenditure. Capital expenditure is something which you make an expenditure and you're going to use it for a longer period. Suppose I have purchased a furniture or a machinery for a business. So I may use it for 5 to 10 years, 15 years. How long that machinery will be used, that long I am going to use it. So these all are nothing but capital expenditure. These are not meant for resale. Okay, suppose I have purchased some 20 machineries. I am using it for the business, means it is a capital expenditure. Suppose I am reselling at that moment only, then comes the revenue expenditure. Okay, so the day-to-day expenditures, those all will be taken under revenue expenditure, whereas long-term expenditure, you are making an expenditure and you are going to use that thing for a longer period, those all expenditure will come under capital expenditure. Okay, they are not meant for resale as such, but they will be used for the business, whereas revenue expenditure is nothing but they'll be using it for a longer period, and they're going to use it for in the normal course of the business itself. So it includes cost of sales and maintenance of fixed assets and all, whereas capital expenditure is nothing but second point, it increases the earning capacity. Okay, how it increases? Because you're going to use it for a longer period, isn't it? Suppose you're purchasing a machinery or a land or something like that, you can earn out of it. Whereas revenue expenditure, you are going to maintain the earning capacity. Earning capacity over here means daily, day-to-day transactions. You are going to record all the day-to-day transactions in the revenue expenditure. So that is the reason it is called as second point has been written as maintains the earning capacity. Now third point is, it is normally a non-recurring outlay. It is usually a recurring item. Now let me tell you the difference between recurring and non-recurring. Recurring means daily expenditures. All those will be taken into revenue expenditure. Non-recurring means it is not frequently takes place. This expenditure you don't do it frequently. You do it once in a while. Do you buy daily plant and machinery for a business? No. Once you're using, as long as it serves the business, you're going to use. Then if it is become rotten and all, you're going to throw it off or you're going to resell it, isn't it? So that is, it takes into consideration non-recurring outlay. These are not made frequently. These are not expended frequently. Whereas revenue expenditures are incurred frequently as such. They are recurring nature. They are incurred frequently. Okay. So I hope I made it clear the third point. The next point is, it produces benefit over several years. Okay, as I said, it will be used as long as the business, as long as the asset serves the business, that long they are going to use it. After that they are going to resell it. Okay, thus a small part is charged to income statement as depreciation and the rest appears in the balance sheet. If suppose there is a decrease in the value of asset, you have made the repairs and all, right, that will be appeared in the balance sheet. Whereas revenue expenditure, it is consumed within an accounting year, benefit only 1 year will be there. So these expenditures, revenue expenditures will be there for like wages, salaries, you pay monthly, isn't it? Advertisement and all that, you are not going to carry for a longer period. So the expenses which you use for a stock and all, which you're going to use it for 1 year, only for 1 year, those all you're going to take into consideration in the revenue account. So thus entire amount is charged to income statement, does not appear in the balance sheet. So revenue expenditures does not appear in the balance sheet. So capital expenditure, all the items of the capital expenditure. Now suppose you are purchasing a furniture, land, property, right? These all will go into balance sheet. Whereas revenue expenditure, day-to-day transactions, you're going to show it in the trading and profit and loss account. Purchases, sales, office expenses, advertisement expenses, administrative expenses, coal, gas, water, those all the things you're going to take into trading and profit and loss account. So this is the basic difference between, now what I have explained you just now, trading, profit and loss account and balance sheet, that is how these are also called as revenue and capital expenditure. So this is what, so do concentrate, this you need to just remember them, which item comes where. Just write down this entire formats of trading and profit and loss account and balance sheet. I am going to explain you problems in my next class. This theoretical part is enough for today. So I'll wind up the class here itself. So see all of you guys. Bye all of you. Just note the entire notes in the notebook.